Hi guys, welcome to another Chessanalysis UK video. Today I'm going to talk about the chess tournament that I played yesterday. Now, I've got a backlog of videos to do. I've got plenty of Tiger ones to catch up from the 4MCL, but it's going to take time, so I'll get there when I can. But I promised the guy who runs this tournament that I'll do him a quick video. And by quick, I mean long, probably about 50 minutes. I'm going to go through the 6 games that I played yesterday. Probably 95% accurate. I've changed a couple of the endings because some of the games were a bit long. But I'll tell you what happened anyway. The result doesn't change, and nor does the motives for the endings. It's just some of them were quite tricky, especially with knights and kings. They do lots of moves that are mysterious, even in rapid play, in real life, let alone if you sit there with a computer trying to work it out. But yeah, 95% accuracy, so I'm going to keep going with that. Anyway, without further ado, I played Docklands Chess Club Rapid Play. It was a FIDE Rated under 2000 event, under 175 ECF. And there was also a minor section for lower rated players. And there's no open. So this is one of the rare occasions that I actually played in the section I'm supposed to play in. And because of that reason, the players that played there are all players that are on the cusp of the open. So I actually got to play some old rivals that I haven't played for a little while. And I thought I'd go back with my new knowledge and see how far I've come and see if I can repeat. Because the last time I played Docklands was about 2 years ago. I won it 5 out of 6. So I thought, yeah, let's get back there. I'm apparently stronger. Let's see if that comes true. But go in there with a positive attitude and just see how we go. Anyway, a little bit about the tournament itself. This is their website. It's spanglefish.com/Docklands Chess Club. If you just write that into Google, it will come up with this website where it's obviously got a little bit more explanation. That I could read the whole thing, but the gist of this is it's going to be 6 games of 25 minutes plus 5 seconds increment. The round times are there. You can see there's a lunch break. The food's done by Norman's wife Yelena, and it's very nice. I enjoyed myself a nice cheese and pickle sandwich, but there was some decent hot food too. I tried to stay away from carbs on chess day because you need to be awake, and and this is a tip from the top, having a jacket potato and beans and cheese just before playing 3 more games of rapid play is not a good idea. Okay, not if you want to win. So there's some prices down there about entry fees, etc. As you can see on the left here, it tells you how to get to the venue, which is pretty easy. You can go to Canning Town, has a tube station, a DLR, a overland rail station. So once you're there, it's about a 15-minute walk, or you can just catch a bus from outside. It's 3:09. Takes you right outside the venue. For those who are lazy, it takes about 7 minutes. Or it's a 15-minute, 20-minute walk, depending on how fast you walk. But as you can see, the entries for the 22nd of February, you'll see me, I'm in here. Lots of people playing. There I am, I'm down here. Way, woohoo, chess pats, let's go. I don't play for the mushrooms anymore, but maybe next season. I'm a tiger. Remember, Celtic Tigers all the way. Anyway, so that's Docklands. Norman ran the tournament really well. No hold-ups. Very friendly environment. Nice hall, nice and warm. As I say, the people who play this tournament play it a lot. So if you keep coming to these, you'll get some rivalries. So it's well worth doing. It's nice having to look up openings and then trying to catch your opponent out next time. As I say, it's been a few years since I played these guys. So yeah, let's see if any of their openings changed, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I've just got to do some wizardry with some drop downs. Hang on a second. So I've got to make that disappear. Make that disappear. There we go. Look at this. It's almost seamless, apart from the fact that that's not a chessboard. No, it should be a chessboard now. Should be a chessboard. It is! Whoa! Okay, cool. So I'm just going to grab the game, which is going to make it not a chessboard again. I've actually done this. Is the second time I've done this video, because the first time round, what you're hearing on the music is copyright-free music. So I don't know where it's going to go, and unfortunately, halfway through the video of the last one, some of the copyright-free music was swearing. Which is not really what you want when you're trying to do a family-friendly stream, I mean, I swear a lot inside, but not when I'm trying to show chess games to all ages. Anyway, so this was game 1. My opponent was a 135 ECF, not played him before. He's 6 years old. 6! Which, of course, from previous videos, always terrifies me when it comes to playing juniors. And like I've done on previous rapid play videos, I'm not going to spend too long talking through, because is 6 games, and I'm just going to talk about the relevant points. And it's more of a blog because how I was feeling during the game and what the idea was, and then I'll crush my idea with computer analysis just to show you that, you know, I definitely don't play perfect chess, and you don't need to play perfect chess to win chess games. You just need to play chess that doesn't instantly lose, which I'll come to in this very first game, funny enough. So my opponent, as I say, young lad, 6 years old. He plays the English opening, which you know, you should be terrified if a junior starts playing the English opening, because all juniors are taught e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, blah blah blah, you know, so be terrified. He got to 135, which is not too bad. I think FIDE rating 135 is about, I want to say 1650, something like that, maybe 1700, around that, you know, for those who don't know what ECF is. Well, ECF is going to get converted to international ratings soon, so we won't have our silly I'm a 167 rapid play ECF. No, we're going to have proper, and I have a proper international rating anyway. I think I'm 1830 FIDE Rapid. Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyway, we go on English, and I'm playing what is called the reverse Grand Prix attack, which is a very decent attempt. And if White wants to upset the cart straight away, then you play d4, and it's still okay for black, but it's not going to be the Grand Prix attack that you know and love as the white side, but there's one of those later on, so I'll show you that when we get to it. My opponent continues classically. He's just controlling the centre, nothing spectacular here. This is what the English is all about. He's controlling the centre, he's also attempting to cause me havoc on my queen side. He's going to rush me with all his pawns, and I'm going to rush him with all my pawns. Especially in rapid play, the white plan will win, but in rapid play you get more scared because no doubt his king is going to be over here with all the pawns, so I know which one I'd rather be in any competitive game, to be honest. But in a slow game you'd probably be able to have a lot more time, and black does feel the pressure eventually, has to do some defending, and that's why the game's level. But in a rapid play you should really go for your opponent, which is why I played early f5, especially as black, because you know, unlike in potentially slow games, you can win with both colours fairly easily. You've just got to play aggressively enough to do so. You'll see my play slightly changes as we get further into the tournament though, because tournament position is important as well, but I'll come to that again when I get there. So this is bog standard. I'm just getting my pieces out. Develop my bishop with check, so I don't lose any time. He defends and I take with check, so I haven't lost any tempi. Castled. I'm going to turn the music down just a tiny bit because it's quite loud actually. I didn't realise it was so loud. There we go. That's better. That's better. I mean, it says it's 10-hour gaming, no copyright music, so I couldn't tell you what it's going to be like, but I'm just trying to mitigate the sound of the laptop because it can be quite annoying, the laptop. So jump through a few windows there. Back to the game. There we go. Now the advantage of swapping off that dark square bishop, and it's why you swap off the white square bishop in the Grand Prix attack for white, is this bishop's actually quite a good defender along this diagonal, especially if you've got e6 and put your bishop there. I'm basically never going to get through my f4 push, but without the bishop on the board, the f4 push becomes a lot more dangerous. I'm not saying that's what wins the game, but it might. So he's attacking the pawn. Fair enough, he's just developing, he's not doing anything outrageous. This is the fun of the English, it's a good opening, it's very logical. A3 was actually a little bit of a waste of a move, because you can actually play b4 straight away here, because I can't take, because I lose a central pawn, so could have gone straight b4. But okay, a3 is not the end of the world, because I guess even on b4 I can attack it again. I'm defending this pawn, I'm attacking it again. Maybe he's just pushing a little bit too fast now. I can reroute my knight back round. Maybe here, maybe even here. You'll be surprised how well it does on f7. But that's a different game, didn't happen. He played a3. So I'm just re-soliding this and letting my bishop out. Bishop doesn't really ever want to go to e6, just as a general rule, because the knight will be coming in. So you just got to watch out for that. Don't just casually develop, I don't know, knight in and then maybe e4, something like this. And he's done it with tempi, and the knight can just sit back here. It's actually quite a nice position for white. So my opponent carries on with his plan, fair enough. He just wants to rush me on the queen side. If he gets the pawns all the way down and the bishop's moved, he'll win this pawn with that bishop, blah blah blah, yakety smackety, and he wins. But I'm shifting my queen over. You've seen this many Dutch times with Simon Williams, so this is the way forward. So yeah, castles, queen in. Yep, of course I'm just going for the box standard knight in and then checkmate. Somehow you sack this rook for that knight. To be honest, I didn't realise early on, like, first of all I was like, okay, the knight on d2 looks a bit funny, but funny enough it does stop a lot of sacrifices here that you usually do in the Dutch. So my new plan is to actually play e5 and dislodge the knight that way. I've just got to make sure that I can, sorry, e4, so I can get that in when I can. And queen b3 actually gives me the opportunity to play said move. But my calculation is never fantastic anyway. I can go about 3 or 4 moves ahead. And then it becomes very vague. So I played a very safe move here, and the safe move is, okay, usually if people line up queens and kings, or rooks and queens, or rooks and kings, is just step out of it. Just step out of it, because you'll save yourself a lot of hassle later. I'm not saying the king can't stand there, because it can stand there. The initial check doesn't actually do anything. I may even be able to push the pawn and block it that way. I'll have to be a bit careful, because obviously there's a little bit of an armada coming. But the point being, I can take the check, but I always have to have it in my mind. It's a rapid play, so I don't want to have it in my mind. So I just step out of the way, and that's what I played. But I missed my first opportunity to play the move that I was already considering, which was this one. Now, I was considering it at this stage because, you know, we've both still got 20 minutes on our clock here. And at the beginning of the game is when you can burn most of your time. As the game goes on, you need to be in a rhythm so you don't go into any long, big fints. And as I say, I took the better part of Valor and I legged it, which was fine, and the game went on. But I did have a key moment here, and again, my calculation wasn't precise here. I thought, okay, takes. But then he's just going to go knight here. And how do I actually defend this pawn? How? You know, I don't have bishop here to pin it, because he'll just take the bishop. And he goes, yum, 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 take it. So I can't defend it that way. I can't defend it this way, because it just knight takes, and then, okay, queen takes, holds on for a little bit. I don't know. It feels a bit ropey. Hey, can I do that? Does that work? Let's try it, because that's the point of this, isn't it? I'll try and do a little bit of analysis as well. It's actually saying that this is okay. I'm actually surprised. I really am. I actually thought this would be bad for black, but computer's actually saying it's absolutely fine. So I'm seeing ghosts, which is fantastic. That's what you want to do when you're playing chess, eh? And it's saying just play e3, and then there's nothing to worry about. Oh, okay, fine. But I'm never getting my attack, and I've already explained what that attack is, so I've already got that in mind. But I've missed something even more major than that. And it's not to defend that pawn, which was, obviously you see I can actually defend it. There's actually g5 here, and that knight has 0 squares to go to. It's trapped. Look, can't go back, can't go there, can't go there, can't go there. And I'm just going to take it. Happy days. And I just didn't calculate that far, because I thought, and this is the hilarity of it, I thought I was losing a pawn, and I wasn't even losing a pawn. But there you go. I mean, even this in rapid play is a bit of a scary thing to do. I mean, the game goes on. It's not like, oh, you've won a piece and it's happy days. So let's see. Takes here. Take back. Why not? And then takes here. Okay, so I get my piece. He doesn't have to take back, because taking back would obviously be terrible, because that would be his position. All pawns open in front of the king, then I really am going to get an attack. But he doesn't have to do anything like that. He can just carry on, push in, eventually trade. I don't know. There's stuff here. Get a rook behind it. The game's not over. I mean, it's obviously an edge for black, because it's a piece at the end of the day, a piece for a pawn. So I didn't calculate any of that, and you should really, if you're going to walk into it, why walk into a loss? But didn't have to worry about any of that, all those fun and games. I do want to play e5, it's just I don't want him to be able to play knight here. So my plan goes around that, so I thought, well, get the king out of the way. That's a start. I'm not worse here, you know, it's still level. It's just I missed my first opportunity. So my opponent plows on, attacks the knight, knight moves out of the way. Keeps going. Why not? You know, eventually Space Invader time. One of these two is going to cause some trouble. And that rook didn't have to move. It's a great rook. The Dutch is a hard opening. Trust me, I've had many reversals. But I get on with what I was doing. And not only was I had the option of bringing my knight back to here and into here, but I chose here because I wanted to stop this knight move, and I just want to play e. I'm dedicated to the e4 cause. So opponent carries on. Ray, I'm attacking you. I'm like, well, I'm attacking you. Finally getting e4. Sorry, don't know why I keep saying e5. Takes. Obviously, the knight's not going to come here anymore because if the knight goes there, we just take it. That was the whole point, and we go, yay! I'm definitely up here. You know, king's open, queen's around, knight's dropping in, bishop's coming in. You know, good stuff. And the rook's doing something. So this is definitely an advantage for black. So he's never going to do that. So he goes to the only correct square, the only square that's open. And also, he's attacking this pawn. Remember what we were saying? I thought I couldn't defend it. And in this line, I saw that I could defend it this way. Get my piece out. So obviously there's no bishop take, so I'll just take his rook. Go, wah! Exchange for a pawn. Excellent. I'll take that very much. Thank you. So I thought, yay, this is good. And it is good, because at the end of the day, I'm still coming forward. We're going to swap off the bishop. There's no knight here anymore. The knight's going to come in. We're going to checkmate him. Yeah, checkmate. You can push your pawns, but I'm going to checkmate you. So he pushes his pawn, but unfortunately it's a big blunder. Now instead of that, he could have just taken here. I take. Okay, big threat of knight in, but he just plays f3. And funny enough, there's no real easy way to get through that. It's the computer saying it's 0.3 advantage for black, but you know the game goes on, as they say, and it's a long game. But my opponent, unfortunately, is a little bit one-track mind here, and wants to push on through. Miscalculating finally for himself, because at this point I knew I worked out to the win, because it's really easy. So I'll give you about 20 seconds just to have a think about all of what I've said and why that b6 is a terrible move. So I take the bishop. Can you see it yet? Take the pawn. He's just carrying through. Here he should play h3 or rook a4, anything other than what he plays, which is taking. Obviously knew he was going to do this because it was played with tempo, so he was playing at speed, so he just thought he was okay, but unfortunately he's missed the fact that that rook was defending a very soft spot. Because now I'm attacking both pawns, and this game's over basically. So he swaps off all his material, sacks his queen, blah 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 blah. Checkmate! You don't get checkmate often, so that was very kind of my opponent to put that on the board. And we move on to game 2. So let's get to game 2. Grab. So at this point you don't care about any of your rivals' scores, it's all about how you're playing. So I got the first game in the bag as black, which is, you know, always nice. So I get white in my second game. Pause, do this, flip the board, put back, do that. Okay, so this is going to be a Joko piano, you know, like all good juniors should play, as I just mentioned in the last game. But I've, like one of my fellow colleagues in the Tigers, I've recently taken up the Max Lang attack, which is instigate with d4. I mean, there's so much opening theory here. I'm not going to go into all of it. But there's lots of things on pre here. There's a pawn on pre. You can take the pawn this way, you can take the pawn that way, and you can take the pawn this way. Weirdly, only one of them is good. My opponent's played this line before. He told me afterwards. I was like, not much of a surprise weapon when your opponent knows what to do, eh? But he should know what he's doing if he's playing bishop c5 in the Joko pianos. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't play your opening just because your opponent knows the opening too. You know, I like this opening. It's fun. Especially in something like rapid play, where you know, if you can get a quick win. I'm not saying this is going to be a quick win, but if you can, you save a lot of energy. Like that last game cost me no energy whatsoever. I didn't have to do too much work. In fact, it would have been easier if I'd done a bit more work because of the winning the piece. So here he plays book move. This is all book. He's just, the worst move you can play here is to follow through, which I always hope when they play h6. I'm hoping they're going to play g5, and I'm only showing this one line because it's I think it's a very good example why the Max Lang attack's so dangerous. It's like, okay, if you drop back, you're much worse here. You know, your bishop's Okay, I'm going to take this pawn. No, you're not. And suddenly black's got all the space. He's a pawn up, remember. This is a very, very good knight. And this pawn's attacked. You know, you're in big, big trouble. But the fun of this opening comes now with f4. Because, okay, takes your bishop. But now you're attacking a knight, and more importantly, f7. And your queen can come in. And it's a very, very, very good attack for white. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying much more than that. Just saying it's a good attack. And you'll get that quite often in Blitz. I mean, there's loads of fun lines in this, which is why I've taken it up. Because I'm playing chess to enjoy it as well. Not just to be ground out, boring London systems, blah, 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 blah. But I'll come back to those later. H6, bishop back, and D6, which is correct move. And computer says black's 0.6 here. Of an advantage, which basically means I'm a pawn down. So I always say if I'm 0.6 down and I've given a pawn, means I've got 0.4 of initiative. And I don't care if that makes logical sense or not. I like it. Because it would be a full -1 if I was a full pawn down. So it must be because I've got compensation, right? That's the way I always read computer evaluations. So D6 is a good move. I play F4 because, as I say, you want to open up the position. Best move here is bishop here, and that's what I was expecting. I was going to go here, tempting black to play this. Okay, I can take his queen, but it's just bad for me if I do. Just show you quickly. Takes. It's attacking my rook, attacking my bishop. So basically, I'm losing material here. But you have two ways of dealing with it. If you've got the computer move, which is just dropping your queen back because you're attacking the knight. If you're attacking the knight, you're threatening to play takes here because the bishop and the rook. In fact, I don't actually see a really good move here. So say you come back to stop the to stop losing your queen, which is important, right? Now you've got all the stuff that I just mentioned earlier. And how do you even defend this actually? Just plow through. This is horrible for black. Black's just getting munched. There's like 3 pieces on this knight already. The king's not castling. The knight's coming out. The rook's coming over. This is bad. So I'm going to get a little pop-up windows. Stop it. So and that was a computer one, but the one that's fun is just bishop takes f7, and I've had all this online, so you can't underestimate playing online. And when I say play online, play 15 minutes plus increment, because it's the only way you're ever going to get better, because you get proper time to learn stuff. And again, this falls apart because if takes, then you've got this check, which is huge. Again, you're going to get a piece back at some point. Obviously, we're attacking the queen. And it's all fun and games, which is why you want to play chess, right? A romantic era chess. But he didn't play that. He played another book move, which, and this is the first. Funny enough, I'm out of book first because I don't know what this move is. But it has a nice little sting, which I only realised too late. Luckily, my opponent believed me when I played my next move. So I took, which is okay. He took back. I took here, again, it's okay. And now my danger-ometer was not on. Now I'm just thinking, great, knight out, knight in. Look, I'm attacking f6. I'm going to attack c7. I'm going to play c3, and you know, happy days. Like, you know, I'm going to be rolling forward. Look, his king. His king's not safe. I'm going to crush him. And my opponent believed me, which was very kind of him. But instead, he could have played a better move. And that better move is pretty obvious. I'm sure you're shouting at the screen, but I saw this obviously too late. After I played knight c3, I didn't have a choice. He's attacking the bishop, and he's threatening check to win the rook. And here, I could just be stupid and come back and just like go, okay, fine. Yeah, I accept the rook loss. We're having connection issues with Lee Chess, sorry. It's a bit slow. And then he wins the rook. And this is just GG. I'll just have to resign. But I would never do that. So what I was planning after I'd realised I'd messed up, I was actually just going to take on f7 anyway. And the fun begins. So king takes. Queen check. King over. And wow, yeah, why not? Just throw another rook on the fire. I mean, this is the computer helping me out a little bit here. But this is a 0-0-0 position. Obviously, I'll be happy to get more because the knight's coming in with check, and is chase the king around. But I'd have this 100% in a rapid play game because it's hard to defend your king in the middle of the board. Even in a slow game, that would be scary. So that's what I had prepared if he played the proper move. I mean, obviously that wasn't the best defense from him. I mean, if he goes here and I take here, I'm still in big trouble. So even if I do all what I just said, none of this isn't all forcing. You can just go to G7. Oh no, it's saying G7. So hang on a minute. Ah, so I would have got away with it apparently. Ah, no. There's knight F5 check. Aha, there we go. There had to be some sort of fly in the ointment. But even this looks really scary, right? I mean, honestly, king takes, queen takes check, no? Oh, it's saying e takes f. But even, yeah, just knight in check. I don't know. But it'd give me a chance. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it's still +2 for black there. And, okay, if he works it all out, then he wins. But that's the kind of move you need to be able to accept that you might have to play. You know, rapid play is like just... If you're going to go down, you may as well go down attacking a king. And this kind of opening will give you those opportunities, but he didn't play that. He bought into my knight d5 idea and played c6. Alright. So queen's in, so now he no longer has knight c5 because I'm just going to take here and just win. That's like +8. Bishop e6, I take it, and the reason I take it is because if I bring the bishop back or at any point, he just castles and his position is completely solid. So this still gives me a chance to play some moves. So I start doubling up on the f file. He castles. I couldn't stop that anyway. I'm attacking the f pawn, and I take the f pawn. And now, both of us were like, we obviously both saw this position before it happened. He's attacking my queen. He's attacking the pawn. He's attacking the pawn. There might be a knight check here if my queen goes too far away, followed by some sort of queen here check. There's all sorts of horribleness coming my way. But I did at least a little bit of calculation here. So I was like, check, good, that's the queen safe, and I'm still defending h3, so there's no knights coming in check. So the king's going to move. And here I thought I was playing a very clever move. I thought, yes, just dodge out the way of all the checks. There's no checks. If he tries to bring his queen in, then I'm suddenly threatening all sorts of mates. Which I think I'll eventually get through. Even like knight here, if he plays queen here, after queen here, it's all looking quite attacky, and I'll be happy again. And the point being, the king's completely out of the way. And I'd also thought, well, he can't take with a knight because of literally the same thing. Going to take with the queen. Queen's going to come in, threaten mate, and then, like I just said, I'm just going to attack him until he dies from it. So he can't take with the knight. He can't take with the rook, I thought. Because I was like, well, I'll just take your knight. Ha ha ha. Takes and takes. That's a whole piece. Thank you very much. And my opponent bought the idea, and he played rook attacking the queen, which is not the best move. And obviously I'll play through that in a second. But we've both missed. Oop, not that. You can take with the rook, because if I take the knight, thinking, ah ha ha, I've got you, he's got this in between move. And that queen is unfortunately in big trouble. If I save the queen, I'll drop this rook and maybe this rook as well after takes here. And like the computer's saying take here, and you think, yes, I'm attacking the queen, but unfortunately after takes and takes. Now I'm exchanged down in a horrible position, absolutely horrible. I'm just going to get crushed. It's very easy for black to unravel here. There we go. I mean, just domination on this rank, and I can't do the same to him, unfortunately. So I'll just be crushed. The rook's just going to eventually drop in, and it's GG, basically. Oh, well, of course I'd struggle on a little bit, but it's always bad being exchanged. If you're in exchange and a rook versus two rooks, just try and swap one rook, and watch how easy your rook beats a knight in an ending with lots of pawns on the board. Easy. Easy win. So instead of all that, it didn't happen, as I say, because he didn't find that move. He bought my plan again. It's useful when your opponent buys your plan. I took a pawn. Queen has to move his rook. The rook gets attacked. Attack the knight. Knight comes back. Double up. If the knight moves again, I will swap a pair of rooks. Remember, I'm a pawn up here, so I just want to swap material. Possibly threatening to come here, so I'll stop that. Develop this king. Attack a pawn. But it was a double move, which is what wins you games of chess, because now I penetrate on the 7th rank. And he resigned. Very kind of my opponent. If he gives like a, I think I don't know if I mentioned it, it's 150, so you know, not a pushover. ECF, which is about 1800 FIDE, I think. Don't know. Not sure how the conversion works. It's some weird math, like times 6 ECF plus 800 or something to get a proper conversion. But he's quite right to resign. The computer says +7 here as well. I mean, what do you even do? I mean, I just hoover up all the pawns, can't I? Why not? This is +5 actually. Oh, okay. It's a terrible move, winning all his pawns. But anyway, I can understand that. He's under a lot of pressure and there's not much play for black. So I won that game as well. So that's 2 wins. Let's get on to game 3. I'll have to go a bit faster, I think, because clearly this has taken a little bit longer than I anticipated, because I always get sucked into the games. I say I'm not going to look at them properly, and then I start talking about them properly. So game 3 is against an old rival. We've played many times. He's a 1-6-3. Is he 1-6? No, is he? Yeah, he's 1-6-3 rapid. But he's a lot stronger slow. I think he's 180 slow. And as I say, I've played before, and it's always been a draw. But generally, he has the better of the draw, which unfortunately was the case here as well. Just nothing's changed. Remember I said about playing old rivals and I'd be better, and yeah. Well, at least the opening was a bit better than it normally is against him. He's white and he plays the Grand Prix attack, and I can't recommend E6 enough. It's a very easy plan to get equality as black here, which I'm going to demonstrate very quickly. Quick D5, and that's it. That's all you need to know. This is move 4, and you've already got equal position against a Grand Prix attack. There's no F5 attacks, F5, G4. None of that works against this because you don't have a fianchetto position yet. You just choose to do that when you're feeling safer. So it gets on with it. This is a simple idea. I played this in a slow play game of eventually sticking a knight here. If we ever get a push or a trade. And also to defend d5 a bit more. So maybe if he takes with a pawn, I've got the option of taking back with a knight. Be a bit flexible. You want to be flexible with black. And as soon as he's played g3, I'm now no longer terrified about this sort of slowness, because it is too slow. I've already got a decent centre, so it's pretty easy for me to counter. So I get on with my g6 plan because, as I say, I'll happily see this come down the board because I'm not castled, so I can just leave my king where it is or castle queenside. But he plays normal moves. He's a very solid player. And both castle, still 0-0-0. A slight inaccuracy because this pawn's now on pre. So when I play my next move, which is not the greatest move, funny enough, computer wants me to just play b6 and continue with bishop b7 and queen c7. Not straight away, because you've got to be a little bit careful of him attacking with 10p, your queen and stuff. Not that it does anything straight away, but also if you play b6, if you ever do win this pawn, there's no rook here afterwards to attack b7 if your bishop's gone somewhere else. I don't know why your bishop would be anywhere else, probably here. Maybe it's pinned. But anyway, if you play b6, there's none of that. So, and you just hold in the centre. And I broke the tension first in this game, which was wrong, which I'm going to come to very shortly because we're nearly there. I broke the tension here, yes. And actually, funny enough, gives white instantly 0.5 advantage, which was a big mistake by me. It's all well and good if it's 0-0-0. And I know what I thought, and I'll explain. I thought, well, at least he can't take with a knight, which was the more scary of the options. Because I thought, oh yeah, and then he's attacking this one. Maybe he can double up on it quite quickly. And the point being, if he ever did take with the knight, I thought, oh well, that's fine, because now I can take on b2. And surely this just wins up pawn, yeah. Come back here. Oh, it's not actually the best move. Amazing. Okay, so what's the best move here? All the way back? Well, okay. So after knight takes, is there some sort of check? Ah, of course. And if knight takes, you take with the queen, and you get check again, and you pick up the knight. Okay, cool. So a little basic tactics there. So this is why I thought he couldn't take with a... I didn't see that part of the tactics. I hope I would eventually. You know what? I always make out that I don't see tactics, but funny enough, when it's right there, that's how I notice moves like queen c4 in that last game where it was just devastating for my opponent. It's because it was only one move away. So I can see tactics, and that's a real good reason to just play tactical combinations one move at a time, and hopefully you haven't burnt all your bridges. But that's what I took, which was just a misjudgment. So next time I'm just going to keep the tension and just carry on and just play a game of chess. But I took with reason, let's put it that way. So he took back with a pawn. And I thought, well, this is good as well, because when the bishop's on d2, not only is he no longer defending that, the queens don't necessarily have to come off either. And I want to win this game. I want to beat this guy. Try and win every game as black when you're playing rapid play, because it's a great opportunity. So he just wants to get his queen out of the way and bring a rook into the game. So I'm like, well, I'll play my knight in now. If some material comes off, which it does, less chance of him doing all this pawn pushy stuff, which is still in the air. I'm trying for a cheapo. I know you're like, why are you blocking in your queen? But I'm not. I'm threatening to take here, takes, and then bishop here, and I win the exchange. So it's a cheapo. He sees it. I play it anyway, and you're thinking, well, that was stupid because obviously you've got c4. But my judgment's not always great. Bishop c6 is where I could have gone straight there. I could have gone straight bishop c6. And I want to explain why I didn't, because I didn't want him to play c3. Because I was like, okay, I'll put my bishop back. And yeah, I like my bishop there. It was a nice strong piece. And what I'm thinking is, if I make him play c4, he can never kick it. And that was the reasoning behind why I played this first. Sorry. Bishop here first. Because I thought it was slightly weakening. I really did. Because I'm like, well, I can keep my bishop always on this pawn. But maybe it was a bad judgment. I mean, it's 0-0-0. And it was saying a slight edge if I'd just gone straight bishop c6. But it's still 0-0-0. So get on with this, because he can't take. I want to attack on the queen side if I can. Takes. Of course, the skewer. So that didn't happen. He just defended the pawn. And again, I'm thinking I'm making him make concessions, but there's nothing too great here. I did miss a move. I should have taken. So takes back with. Can't take with the queen. Again, all the same moves because of this. This is just, you know, that's the whole point of all of these tactics. But I thought he'd just take with the pawn, and then I wasn't really sure who was getting what on the B file. I mean, okay. Again, it's probably just completely level, just moves out of the way. And though I do have that, this would have been an actual okay plan, and perhaps I should have gone for this, because what I did play, I didn't realise how weak my C pawn was. And pushing was a bad move. For what, I've established my queen with tempi because I'm attacking the rook, but he's only got to move his knight, which he does, puts the knight in a nice square. And now there's not a lot I can do to stop rook over. So I challenge it because I know you can't just give someone an open file, and he attacks my queen, so my queen moves. And even that was not the best square. I mean, really, I should have gone here, because then I'm sort of X-raying defending if I ever move my knight. But queen G7 has its own little plan of maybe playing G5 at some point. So it wasn't devoid of logic, but unfortunately he does play very well here, and he starts coming forward. And I don't want him to sit his knight here, because that's just going to be a real irritation to my bishop. And at any point he's going to attack this pawn, and this pawn I can't get to. I can't defend that pawn. So I started to panic a bit here. I've got to say, I was feeling the pressure, so I blocked the route to the pawn. And in the ideal world, whoops, I'm going to double up rooks and get some sort of attack. Not attack, but a bit more domination of it. And I should have really, honestly, should have just taken this pawn with the pawn. That's the rook with the pawn, because I can stick a rook behind it. Okay, it's isolated, but you know, it's not the, you know, he'll just build up against it, and and now he wants me to play G5. Okay, whatever. Yes, because I have to play stuff like this, because this is quite hard to hold on to long term. Okay, the queen's on it, the rook's going to be on it, but I'll be all tied down, and at any point he is going to just drop his knight into the game, which would just be unfortunate, because he'll disconnect my queen's defense of that pawn. So none of that happened, but I should have taken with the pawn. Instead, I took with the queen, thinking, oh, the queen's back in the game, and of course I saw a rook coming over, and I thought the queen was fine here. But again, I mean, this pawn is just awkward, so hard to defend. I mean, what do I do if he played that? I mean, he plays good enough anyway, he keeps the edge. And as I say, I lost control, unfortunately, on this move. This was the killer move. So, I thought, well, what's he up to? Okay, well, I'll check, fine. I'll definitely take a draw in this situation, because I'm definitely worse. Queen's off, fine. Yep, let's do that as well. Why not? He does still control this file, and that's I know he can't get anywhere yet. He can't. Either way, he can go there straight away. Funny enough, that'd be awkward for me, especially with knight coming in. So I panicked a bit here, and I played f5 with vague ideas that my knight was going to be very active on f5 itself. So he plays all the right moves. I'll take with the knight, and I saw this come, of course. But I'm in a bad way anyway. And what I've said all along about rapid play is, if you're in a bad way, there's no point sitting there and just being crushed. You may as well at least try and get active. I'm not saying I'm going to get anything from this game, but at least I'll give myself chances. I've got to try to stop his rook being horrible. But that's a great move by my opponent. I have to swap. And as I said, these pawns are atrocious. This one in particular. And that was what would have cost me the game. So I get active with my knight. I'm like, well, it is an advanced pawn. You never know if I get lucky. You can only get lucky if you play active moves. So he's a pawn up. I'll save one pawn, losing another. Here, he shouldn't have taken this pawn. It's something he can win later on. He's still winning, taking the pawn, but there's other moves. And he should really be trying to at least look at my counterplay too. If he stops my counterplay, it's just lost. But okay, it's another pawn. So he's 2 pawns up. But my knight gets into the game. He starts bringing his king over. I take. Why not? He couldn't really stop me taking that pawn. Obviously, any pushes, suddenly I've won. Attack! So I take the pawn. Why not? He brings his knight back into the game. He's looking to go here and win that one. And then this is a pass pawn. There's going to be a pass pawn on the queen side too. So I go for a superficial cheapness. I'm looking to maybe take. Knight takes. Pawn up. Who knows? 2 pawns against a knight? It's a chance. I mean, his king's pretty close now. He can just probably walk over and just stop it all. But I'm trying to give myself last chances. And my opponent blunders. With the exact move that I said, which because he wants to win that pawn. But I can push said pawn. And now it becomes monstrous. So if he takes this pawn, which is still the best idea, the best move I should say, I can take here and oh, it's on a run, right? So how does he stop it? Can he stop it? Obviously he's going to just come into here. It gives me the opportunity to chase this one. Oh, the computer actually wants to check. Okay, long story short, that would eventually trade off and then it'll be 2 pawns versus 3 pawns with a knight, which is actually really drawish. Remember, I was 2 pawns down in this ending. And the big miss was, 1, him missing that this was a particularly bad move, but 2, me finding that this one was a tricky one for him to deal with. And he doesn't defend best. He's worked out that pawn up doesn't actually... did I miss something here? I may have had A takes B here. How was he going to defend that? Okay, well this is what I was saying earlier about not remembering the end game so much, because this is quite a long game. So obviously A takes B is just winning. So this position is close but not quite right. But this is the exact position, 100%. So I have to ignore that, and I can't explain how. Maybe his king was in a slightly different place. Maybe his king was already here. You'll have to give me artistic license on this. But this is the position. I mean, I'm still a pawn down here, but I managed to hold it. Takes, check, takes. Run away. I can't stop him winning that pawn, but as I say, this king against 3 pawns. And this is definitely artistic license because it wasn't the way the game ended. But for material-wise, I was sacking basically this knight for the last 2 pawns. And I wish I could get to that position because it was good. But all the play that led up to me getting a chance was on me being able to play A3. And that's the only point I wanted to make about that. Okay, the ending went slightly different. But you've always got a chance. Even in 2 pawn down endings with knights, you've always got a chance. So just make your position active and keep going. Right, let's march on. Game 4. We're halfway. I don't know how long this video's been. Let's have a quick look. Not that one. That's not the video. The video's taken 44 minutes, so I'm going to go really fast now. And luckily for me, this is the last long game. And it's not going to be that long. But this guy, I played before. I played him at Gatwick. And before this tournament, he'd won Golders Green Major, which is possibly a slightly stronger tournament just because there's more people in it. Though this was a a tough one. There was very rare under 150 games in this, so 1800. And this guy was, like I say, 6 out of 6 at Golders Green, which is no mean feat. And he's 180 slow play as well, and the highest ranked guy in the competition. Flip. And as I say, I played him at Gatwick in a slow play, and we had a great game, and we both sacrificed our queens. Both for a very his to save the game, mine to do mate if he took it. And I managed to win Gatwick, but perhaps I should have won that game, and I would have won it not joint first but clear first. But never mind. So it's all set up for an exciting game. I know he's a good tactical player, and we've discussed the Nadorf before, which is what happens. Bishop g5. Now he plays this rare line. Now this is supposed to be bad. I mean, like, but everybody will tell you in Nadorf that you need to defend this square and not allow knight f5, which is what happens. But computer analysis will back up e5. I've got other friends who are 180s who play this. I won't play it because I like the main line of bishop g5. I like playing e6 and getting on with the game. And this is, at this point, this is the majority move, and then you play f4 and then you get on with it. And it's a long game, lots of book, but fun book moves. So if you play e5, you're out of book. Well, there is book for this too, but you don't play it very often, so to remember it's quite hard. But I play natural moves, which I'm going to go through now. So he takes the knight. And what I like about this is this pawn is actually a fairly good attacking unit. You can castle kingside and still use this pawn. So develop. I'm trying to look after d5, which is why you're seeing the moves that you're seeing. There's no jumping in yet, which I'll explain in a second. So attacks my bishop. Bishop moves. Gets his bishop out. I mean, it would be awesome if I could ever jump in, but the problem is that ever jumping in is that when he takes, he's defending this bishop, and that's in lots of lines. When he castles, which will happen shortly. Yeah, so now you're thinking, oh great, hey look, everything's pinned, but no, because it's a boomerang effect, he's defending this, so he just wins a piece, so you can't do it. Because you'd love to attack everything, wouldn't you? I mean, this is fantastic. Yeah, everything's attacked, everything's pinned, but you just lose. So don't ever do that. Okay, so let's just skip past that. Castles, queen f3. I'm just going home. I want to checkmate him. No, I'm not lying. I'm going to just come over here, come up here. Eventually bring my knight in one way or the other. Got to work it out when I can do it. And checkmate him. I'm also superficially attacking that. If he ever drops back, I can just take the b pawn. Doesn't happen. Plays b5, counter attack. Now, I'm slightly aware that b4 is a good move. So I play queen here. b4 doesn't work straight away. Actually, knight d5 does work here. Because if he does knight takes, I can do bishop takes because I'm now finally defending my own bishop. So queen, and it's also I'm threatening bishop here to win the exchange because pawn down takes. If he plays knight to the side, well, I'll come to that in a second. So queen here to stop b4. He's defending the bishop. The bishop's now he can move the knight. This is a fair move. He can't play what looks like a nice move here because I think I can take here. I'm not sure. So if he tries to block out the bishop, I'm just going to take. This might actually be a really decent attack. I didn't actually consider this. I just thought, well, maybe I can't get through. But he's not going to play h6 anyway. Why would he? Just helps me. I basically really want to play stuff like, I'm just a little bit concerned about knight coming in if he kicks this knight first. Can't play b4 straight away. Okay, that's the thinking behind this. Sorry, I've got there eventually. I've played this for a couple of reasons. One of the main reasons is to stop b4, and that was literally it, because I was not bothered about h6, and I think I probably would have taken the pawn had it happened. But he moved the king out of the way. Which means that h6 can't be played anyway because it's pinned. So I just got on with getting another piece into the game. This is to allow to stop the knight ever coming in, and also just a sneaky if I need to. So queen back is going backwards. It's compact position. It's not easy for me to get through. I'm not exactly threatening a mate in attack yet. So I bring another piece into the attack. Just keeping an eye on this d6 pawn. You should always line up rooks and queens if you can. And h6, so here we go. Now, I originally thought I couldn't take this pawn, and I'll go through the line in a second, because I should exchange, talk about ghosts. But I also knew that h6 may come, and that he couldn't take. So that's why I played this move, which I'll come back to in a second. But the computer's screaming at me, and it's saying you can take. Now, I didn't take, because I thought just takes, and then knight here. And I was like, well, he's attacking my queen. So what would you do here? You can't bring the bishop back. So does that mean you have to sack... And this is where I was thinking, oh, I have to sack my bishop. And perhaps this is still okay. Yeah, I guess I've always got h4 here, which is quite something. Yeah, so maybe this was still a decent attack. But the best move, apparently, after knight back, is just simply f6. Wow, that's a good move, if it works. So bishop takes, yeah, that looks fair. And now... just cold as you like, queen g4. Wow. And why can't we take this bishop? Because rook takes d6. Remember what I was saying about this rook? I still don't see it. This still looks really good for black. It's a piece up, though. He wants to play rook e7, defend this pawn. Okay, so say we do. Rook e to d1. Ah, no, I can't play like this, honestly. No, it's not that. It's, sorry, this. Oh, we got loads of pressure here, loads. And that's why he played rook there. I didn't even realise we were attacking that knight. Okay, well, there you go. That's a spectacular attack. I didn't see it. I'm not even going to pretend. All I saw was, I thought knight back to h7 was going to cause me a lot of trouble. So I just brought the rook in, because I'm like, well, if I got a rook that can check here or threaten stuff here, then it's got to be good. So we go with that. I'm like, okay, you can take this bishop if you want. It looks like a terrible, terrible move, because I'm just going to smash you. If he tries this now I can take. Can I play? What do I play here? Yeah, I can take. Right? Takes, and then rook check. I'll just check here. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do nicely. Thank you very much. So that was the idea, but didn't come to pass. He managed to defend. Played knight h7, which I was expecting before, but I was like, well, at least I got the rook involved. And I thought I'd calculated this quite nicely, but I didn't win any material, which is really annoying. I just had a nice position. So a rook has to move. And here, the computer's saying I should have played c3, which, okay, I guess it's... I don't actually understand this. So what happens after the knight takes? A takes. And now f6. Oh, how annoying. No, he plays f6. a5. Alright. It's a completely side game. I'm not going to go into it. But I'd calculated, after swapsies, not c3, but f6. Because I was like, yes, I'm going to get an outside pass pawn here. But perhaps it's just not as good as I thought. Check. I'm like, yeah, this one will eventually win the game for me. That was the idea. And I actually thought he would take my bishop here just to have a pure rook ending. But he didn't. He wanted to trade one of his rooks for one of mine, saying my rook's active, but I don't actually think it was doing a great job on h3. So that was useful. His king's moved away, allowing my other rook to come into the game. And now I'll cut his king off. So now we actually do have a real pass pawn. So I thought I was winning here, but the computer's saying 0-0-0. Of course it is, it always does. So he reworks his knight into the position. I start pushing my pawn, also giving my king an escape square. There's always just be aware that at some point you could get checkmated on the back rank. It's almost, and in endgames especially, it's always worth getting out of the way. Okay, he's threatening the bishop, and to check and win the rook. So as I say, I'm going to speed up now. So I defend that. Activating the rook with the idea that the pawn's going to, well, I'm going to push this pawn and kick him wherever his knight goes, then this pawn's going to run through. That was the idea. I thought I was just winning easily. +1 here. Swap rooks, yeah, and the plan goes ahead. The knight comes back. I'm stopping the knight getting into an active square. Now c3 makes sense. Maybe the computer was just seeing that far. And I play b4 because I want to keep his pawns on light squares. So he defends, start trying to activate my king. He does the right thing here. He starts pushing his pawns down. Still +1 here, but I sort of lose my way a little bit. Bring my king in because I thought that was right. And I thought I was winning a pawn here. I thought I was threatening g4, especially even after this move. I just had a moment of blankness here. I mean, we were both a bit low on time. I'm going to blame that anyway. Suddenly he's a little bit better. I just didn't see the double pawn coming down the board. I was like, oh dear. But we're back to 0-0-0, even though this is all natural moves from both sides, you'd imagine. And my opponent missed a chance here. I took here with the belief that if he'd pushed this pawn, which is the best move, but it's still only 0.00. Oh no, it's gone up to 0.9, so it's probably winning. I thought I had this. Thinking that, oh yeah, takes. Happy days. Which would be. I mean, this is apparently his level. I actually thought I was winning here. It's funny. And maybe he did too, and that's why he regretted. But then he did make the noise that I felt like he should have played this, but he didn't. It didn't happen, as it were. So takes. Again, the ending doesn't end exactly the way it happened. This is 50 plus moves. It's quite hard to remember when you don't write stuff down. So it didn't exactly end like this, but the point is artistic. It's a draw because obviously I'm going to win that pawn if he doesn't keep defending it. The point being, this didn't happen. All these pawns got swapped off, and he had a chance to promote a pawn. And even if I'd won it, I had a light square bishop, and I had the wrong colour bishop to promote the pawn, so it was a draw that way. But it was a fun game, a exciting game. I obviously didn't find the best attack, but you know, c'est la vie. And I've drawn with my two top rivals and one against two people I should win. So that leads us into round 5. Don't worry, the games get shorter. This one is particularly short. And I feel for my opponent, who I've played 3 times now. He beat me the first time we played at the BBCA Rapid, which is another good Rapid play. You get free curry at that one. I think I've done a video about that previously. And I beat him at Kingston. He beat me there. I beat him at Kingston when he was the exchange up. And just swindled him. But well, like I say, if you're going to swindle someone, it's usually because you're playing actively. So, you know, yes, he outplayed me, but eventually I outplayed him. So, you know, goes both ways, I guess. What's going on with this? Import. There we go. Right. And again, it's not too much to talk about, and I will. I know I keep saying I'm going to speed up, but I really will. The last 2 games are not going to take any time at all. So I was black, yep, and I started playing D5 a lot more now. And he plays some sort of London system. I like playing early Queen B6s against London systems. This pawn is poisoned. Can't take it. I'll show you quickly. You can just ignore it and just get on with your development. And basically, black's king is in big trouble. So, long story short on that one, don't take that pawn. You don't need to. What you want to do is threaten to take that pawn and in that pawn. Then you're definitely winning. Which is why you can play bishop F5 here. So he blocks it. Both get on with developing. Swapsies, knight in, castles. I have my opportunity to play C5 at quite a few occasions here. But I went for king safety first. And he played C4. Still a slight edge for me. Unless I take, which isn't so clever. And he should definitely take with a queen. But rook takes is okay. It's just for what happens later, it was better that he took with a queen. And now I play C5, which is a big blunder. Because I can't calculate, it seems. Rook over is also good. But he can just take straight away. I was under the illusion that I could take here after all the swaps. Which I can, of course. But I'm under some sort of big pressure here now. Computer says 0-0-0, but it's the kind of position you don't want to rapid play. So, taking C4 was bad and playing C5 was bad too. Even though it's saying 0-0-0, it doesn't matter. It's just white's play so much easier. Yeah, and this was asking too much of the position. Here I should just take and just be like, okay, wow, it's kind of level, but he's got control of the C file. And funny enough, knight D5 here rather than when I played it. But it didn't happen as they say. I got clever. I was like, I'm going to take your bishop and attack your queen, so it doesn't matter about you taking here. That's wrong. So he's attacking my queen. Originally I was like, oh yeah, but I'm going to take here, but queen takes here is just absolute death for me, because I don't have any squares for anything. He's attacking this one, he's attacking this one. I mean, the best move the computer's saying is give up the bishop. It's a whole piece, so I just lost. So that didn't happen, because obviously I didn't take the bishop. I tried this, sneaky. This rook is pinned, and I'm attacking the A pawn. Drops his bishop back, didn't need to. He could have played... Actually, funny enough, he didn't like dropping his bishop back, but the computer's saying it's the best move. So Sean, that was a great move. That was actually the best move in the position, bishop g3. I thought he might try this straight away, but this apparently doesn't work now. Okay, so what's the difference? Because I've got an in-between move, which is what? Rook a d8. Why can't he take the bishop? Oh, of course. Very good. Back rank, yeah. So checkmate. Whoops. Okay. Fair enough. Alright. So there you go. We looked at all this after the game, so this is why I'm going through these particular lines. Now we've got some computer backup. But Queen A6, at least it's a tricky line. I mean, it's 1.4 for white here, and should be, because I've lost a pawn for literally nothing. And he's got initiative as well. So he drops the bishop back, which was the best move. And I thought, oh, can I get away with taking this? And this is maybe a bit too clever, this move. He's still winning. 0.6 winning strong here. I guess he's still got an edge. With the idea that if I come back here, he can just push again. And if I come back again, then he's just got knight g5 threatening mate for 1. So I've got to defend it in a horrible way. And what have we got here? Oh, he just takes it, of course. And I'm in trouble. E6 pawn's in big trouble. It does go on, doesn't it? This is quite a long line. And it was to save the pawn. Yeah, but this is just a horrible position. Look at this. It's going to be so easy to get a rook involved. The queen's going to get involved. It's not good. It's not good for me. And I was actually worried about this move quite a lot in a few lines. And I was quite happy it didn't appear on the board. But I've got a slightly better square. This one. So I'm now attacking that rook, which is pinned, which he'd only realised now that his queen didn't have any squares. So he goes slightly wrong. Here he was saying he could play queen back to here, and he was better, but... Oh no, after trades, okay, fine, after knight takes, but even then, I'm not convinced. So he was saying knight takes, and then the queen back. But I'm still winning this rook, so I'm not convinced by that. Maybe we were looking at something slightly different. But anyway, the idea of e5 was that if I went to f6, I'd be busted. But I didn't, so happy days. Attacking the rook. Knight takes is definitely a bad move because it loses the exchange. Computer's saying the best move here is rook moving somewhere. So c3, just rook back, defending the queen. And then if I swap queens, which is apparently best, he's got a 0.5 advantage. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I'm just not playing particularly well here. At least I'm not pawn down, though. I'd grovel on, as they say. But taking here just loses the exchange, unfortunately for him. And it gets slightly worse for him, because I've got this move, because I want to swap off pieces. He can't take here because of mate. And queen blocks and then checkmate. So he can take the rook, but it's not check, so I get to take the check first. Then I take the rook, and now of course I'm attacking this pawn. So I'm not only exchange up, but I'm going to win a pawn. And unfortunately for Sean, he saves it, leading to mate. So yeah, so I got lucky there because I blundered the pawn horribly. And then finally, the last round game to win the tournament, or joint win, because my opponent, the guy in the Nadorf, who I played at Gatwick, oh, his name's Razzie. Kazi, sorry. His name's Kazi. Really good player. He won his game very easily next to me because unfortunately his opponent had to leave early. So, and he's one of my friends, and he would have, and it looked like an exciting game anyway, but he spent no time. He played like a blitz game because he had to go to an escape room later on in the afternoon, which is unfortunate because that would have given me my opportunity to maybe win the tournament outright on my own. But because he won, I mean, I needed to win this game, and I've played this player 4 times, and every game has been dead dull, and I was like, oh no, he plays the Petrov, and I need to win. So I avoided the Petrov by playing d4, and I'm not that comfortable with d4, but it's not Petrov, and now he's playing the Dutch, which gives me a big hope, because I've played against. I've had the Dutch on the black side many times, and I didn't like playing against Bishop F4. The real big one to watch out for is to play this. This is the one I hate the most, so maybe I should have gone for this line instead. But it doesn't matter. What I played was still annoying because the plan behind it's easy as well. Whereas if I played the Bishop G5 line, I think you need to know a bit of theory. But if you play a kind of London system against the Dutch, you don't really need to know that much. Anyway, so the game goes on. And now I'm really a little bit panicky because stone walls are very boring, just like the Petrov is. And you'll see the game develops. Though I try to make it a little bit exciting, it's quite easy for black to hold on. So castles, takes. Bring my knight in, he's fully developed. It's 0.3 advantage for white here, so nothing special. Still the same, swap off. Otherwise he's going to trade and leave my pawn on a bad square, don't want that. Kick the knight, it's a good knight, knight's gone. I'm also potentially going to be able to play e4 break, which I've got to do some sort of break, otherwise black's just fine. And I really want to play against this bishop, because it's a bad bishop. So he castles. I pin the pawn. This pawn is now pinned. I'm also attacking b7. So he defends b7, and I get to play e4 without having to worry about working out the trades. This pawn is never... this bishop's never on pre, because I'm always going to take back this way, and the rook defends the bishop. There's no more here, because it's pinned, as I said. Nearly there, guys. Nearly there. This didn't happen, but that's what could have happened. So I push anyway. Bishop d6, breaking the pin, but not completely, because obviously if he takes, I'm going to take his bishop for free with check. So it's not completely broken. And here I made a bad decision, but with a good idea behind it. I went to trade off his last good piece with my apparent bad piece, because I'm going to put all my pawns on dark squares after I trade. But I've tactically messed this up, and I got lucky. Because takes. I was imagining, yep, takes, and then whatever, like rook swaps. But queen g4 is actually g5 is actually a really pain in the arse move, threatening all sorts of stuff. And his bishop's no longer going to be bad at the end of it. So that was end of the day bad decision. But luckily my opponent was tired too, and he didn't take, and he allowed me to play my plan. So now I've put all my pawns on dark squares, and it's a good bishop versus a bad bishop, and then it's just, can I make anything of it? So my opponent starts doing the right thing. He starts expanding where he's got more pawns. We dance around a little bit. I'm just making sure that all the pawns are fixed. Okay, I'd love to dart my queen in and maybe come over this side and start playing h5, something like that. That was the idea. He closes that off straight away, fair enough. So I've put my bishop on a good square, good diagonal. Lining up bishops and queens is always a good idea. And now it's lined up with a bishop, queen and a rook. But it's not easy to get through to that pawn yet. So I start trying to get through to that pawn. Here we go. Yep, he's marching down the board. Still marching down the board. And I'm like, I've set up the one trick I've got in the position. This didn't happen exactly in these moves because he didn't leave this pawn on pre. But it doesn't matter. As again, artistic, end of the day, 6 rounds of tiredness. Perhaps this rook isn't on b7 yet. Maybe it's still defending this pawn, but eventually it gets to that position because he's threatening to play a5, and I couldn't stop that. So I played this. So you just have to give me artistic license that one of these rooks was still defending that pawn. I played this, which is 0-0-0, but with one big spike in the tail if he takes. And he took, and I was like, yes, I've joint won this tournament because there's nothing stopping what's coming. You can't defend this position. He tried this, and it's just, unfortunately for him, over. There was no way to stop this pawn being... I mean, I don't even know. What would the computer suggest here? Even best move is probably still minus something horrible. Best move is rook d8, and unfortunately, bishop takes. Everything's attacked. This is attacked lots of times, so if you come back, which might have been... Oh, it's pinned, so you can't do anything. Has to take, and I win the exchange. And unfortunately, it's not just the exchange. It's the exchange with this pawn in the position. We dance around a bit, and then pawn up. Game over. GG. Right, and that was the end of my Docklands. So I managed to win a tournament. 5 out of 6, as I said. Joint 1, but fair play to my opponent. And all I really want to say, if you're still with this video, is I didn't play perfect chess all day, but I played optimistic chess, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to give yourself options. Don't just walk into holding on endings, because you'll just lose. It's pointless. You may as well just blow more material and give yourself a chance. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll be back at some point in the future. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now. Where's stop record? Bye, and good luck England against Ireland.